This machine was forced.
I just caught a tree.
I'd like to say that we worked perfectly, but you could just imagine conflict.
Just calm down.
Come on, guys, come on! Hold it, hold it, hold it!
The Photonis Ultimate Forces Challenge, an annual extreme endurance competition for athletes from across the globe. On the Indonesian island of Bali, 42 elite athletes push the limits of teamwork, tactics, and pure physical strength to prove who's the fittest of them all.
On this last challenge, the teams found themselves fight their way up and down a waterfall.
And not just any waterfall, a 35-metre monster.
Super hard challenge. Hardest one so far.
The stakes were high, with Canada and Australia battling the clock and each other to secure a place in our final.
It's a scramble. The points are really close. It's a fight for fourth, third and second.
But unlike previous challenges, there's no way the athletes can avoid the most difficult pitfalls. They have to attack them head-on. Both the Australians and Canadians turned in remarkable performances, but it was the Aussies who walked away victorious. In fact, the Aussies leapfrogged Team Belgium for second place in the overall standings, behind Team South Africa. And even though they're pleased with their performance and finished the day with their heads held high, the Canadians now must immediately pack their bags and fly home.
I couldn't have gone any faster. I did everything that I could to win this competition, so losing in that fashion to better people is the way to do it. So we went out on a high.
We continue with the 3 remaining teams. And although nobody goes home today, that doesn't mean they don't have to push themselves to the absolute maximum. And if that's not scary enough, this is going to be in pitch black.
Each team must abseil down the side of a building, scale walls, and traverse jungle terrain, all in the dark of the night. The advantage will go to the team who figure out the quickest how to work the military-grade night vision goggles.
We had 4 team members that had to abseil down to the bottom. The captain at the top would direct us with her night vision goggles.
And he'd talk us through with a laser. Once we hit the ground, we then find a set of night vision systems.
Once we got to those 2 pairs, as a team we had to guide our 2 other team members that didn't have night vision on.
This mission requires total team effort.
From there, we were guided by our narrator up the top there with the laser finders to go and find certain items.
Oh, there's something on it.
And then return.
To make the battle that much more interesting, our athletes are giving a crash course in night vision technology by a European military expert.
Tonight, you are going to use the night vision system. This night vision system is coming by the hand of Photonis and Night Vision Laser Spain. With this technology, you will be able to see even with light or whatever. You will have as well a very good distant capacity for detection, recognition, identification. Are you ready to go? Yes. There is going to be very, very dark in the area. Good luck.
The final preparations are made for the first team to make the jump, the winners of today's first leg, South Africa. While they're the strongest team in the UFC, tonight they feel they're at a disadvantage.
You always go into an obstacle having a lot of tactics. We couldn't plan around this obstacle. There was no tactic. Once we were in it, we were just winging it.
With only 5 members of each team competing, Celeste is only too happy to bow out.
I'm really happy that I don't have to do it, because when I got here and I looked down, I almost puked. So I'd much rather just be watching from here.
And there they go. Celeste may be biting her nails, but Dwayne and Terence seem to have reached a whole new level of happiness. Diane is 1 floor down, and as the team's captain, she's responsible for safely guiding Dwayne and Terence through the dark. Her first priority, locate the night vision goggles.
Okay, keep walking straight forward.
Yeah. Got.
With the night vision goggles quickly in hand, both Dina and Victor can now begin their descent. With the mishap on the waterfall still fresh in her mind, Dina plays it safe with her descent. In the meantime, the boys get acquainted with their night vision goggles.
I've never worn night vision goggles before, so it was a very new experience for me. The difference it makes is absolutely incredible. It literally makes the nighttime look like daytime. You can see everything, you can see exactly where you're going, you've got good depth perception.
With Dwayne and Terence playing with their new toys, Victor makes his way to the meeting point. Once there, he and Dina will be blind in the dark and have to rely on Dwayne and Terence to guide them safely through the forest.
That's when you realise how good those goggles actually work, is when the guys behind you are falling all over the place and you're just walking 100%.
The two objects they are searching for are hidden deep in the jungle. Without the help of spotter Diane, they have absolutely no chance of finding them. Once in the jungle, however, things quickly get ugly.
Our communication wasn't exactly 100%. We were all trying to talk over the channel at the same time.
Yeah, go forward, forward, forward.
No.
Got the first.
Further along the path, they locate the second item, which the team wrongly assumes is the second item. Why on earth they think a random piece of plastic is a valuable find proves how the darkness can do crazy things with your mind.
Captain, do we take what we have found or do we leave it? It's a plastic bag stapled to a tree.
Look what's inside it.
Okay. It's empty. We need to know if this is the second thing or if we need to continue looking over.
Bring the second thing that you found, but keep looking.
Diane is pretty sure the team hasn't found the second object.
My right. Go forward, forward, forward.
No.
But poor communication and some stubbornness result in the ground team completely ignoring the orders.
I'd like to say that we worked perfectly, but if a male gets to wear the goggles and the lady can't see anything, you could just imagine some conflict. It's going to be automatic. And maybe looking back, the lady should have worn the goggles for a bit more security, and then there would have been a whole lot more talking.
Have you got two items?
No, we've got one.
No, we've got two.
The one's right, the other one's a plastic bag.
Finding a plastic bag isn't their objective, but Terence, usually so sure of himself, seems overcome by doubt.
Will you speak? Press the button, wait a second.
We just sort of made the most of it.
Beg your pardon?
We need...
Because the communication between the ground team and their captain is only getting worse, the athletes decide to head to the finish line to save time. But because they only found one of the two objects, they receive a 2-minute penalty.
I'd have to say, of all the challenges, this was probably the one I think we've done the worst in. I suppose it is what it is.
The Australians are up next. Wayne will play the role of team captain and spotter, while Adam and Gary abseil down the building to retrieve the goggles.
So we were taken down into the forest and it was very, very dark. There doesn't seem to be any moon out tonight.
Wayne, putting his team first, checks out of the hospital to rejoin the competition.
What a cracker.
By appointing himself the role of spotter, he can still effectively lead his team.
I was the captain or spotter up top, so basically guiding the sailors.
The Aussies begin their descent, knowing they have an opportunity to gain some much-needed time on the South Africans. As team captain, Wayne is completely in his element.
Night vision goggles are over there, boys.
Loved it, yeah. The tree was about 150 to 200 metres out, and it was great to be able to see that far in the dark with the night vision goggles. They worked a treat.
With his hawk eyes, Wayne helps Adam and Gary locate the goggles.
I can see that clearly.
Put on the night vision goggles and immediately could see everything.
Meanwhile, the second group, consisting of Robin Ann and Victoria, have begun abseiling down the structure and quickly catch up with the first group. They enter the challenge's second stage, which requires scaling a wall and locating two hidden items. Hopefully they've learned from the South Africans that not every object is a valuable find.
I could see the wall that looked about 2 metres high. They had to get over that first, then they had to drop down into a bit of a ditch and climb up out of that. You could see every tree and every rock that was out there for about 150 to 200 metres. It was very clear.
All right, pull the laser pointer out.
Great to be able to show people where to go with a laser pointer.
Under Wayne's laser guidance, the Australians pinpoint the first item without too much trouble.
Hey, Adam. Yeah, mate? We've got a hit, mate.
One down, one to go. The teams stick close together and make good time. Calm and collected, they navigate the trees and bushes.
Yep, we have 2 X's.
Almost by accident, Adam and Robin Ann stumble upon the second item.
You know, Team Australia were pretty calm. We listened to the briefs. We were safe. I've experienced those before. So, yeah, it was a good challenge.
With the help of their goggles, the Aussies rush back to the finish line, certain they have won up the South Africans in this challenge. They cross the line without a single time penalty. In the meantime, the Belgians are on top of the roof, pumped up and ready to go.
We can win this thing as a team. We are strong in this.
The Belgians have two things going for them. As a team, they excelled in the previous night challenge, and they have a knack with the ropes. Despite these advantages, nothing has prepared them for abseiling down an abandoned building in the middle of the night.
It's quite a high building. It was 4 stories high, and it was dark, really dark.
While Bart and Sander confidently glide down the side of the building, Rudy has taken up the position of spotter.
Rudy! Where are the goggles?
In the dark, you see 1 meter, 2 meter. With the goggles, you see very far. That's a nice thing.
Oh, yeah, that is funny. Okay.
As soon as the ground crew find their goggles, Anka and Bianca start their descent.
The 2 girls came, and they didn't have the goggles, so we had to help them with everything and set them the way and take them by the hands.
Bianca, use an iron thing here.
The Belgians are proving once again to be a well-oiled machine, especially compared to the previous teams. But in the dark of the night, even the most coordinated teams are susceptible to minor inconveniences.
Well, there was one girl ripped her pants, so it was a little bit of a striptease.
From his tower, Rudy spots a different piece of cloth. Not Anka's shorts, but the first hidden item.
Left side.
With my left side.
Following the laser, Sander and Anka quickly move to recover the package.
I see it.
Almost simultaneously, Bart finds the second item all on his own.
We find it and
I have it.
I think quite quick.
Yes. We're coming back.
Rudy, we are coming back. We have the object.
Okay.
It was really exciting. We did it quite well, I think. The time was good.
We did it. Say thanks to Rudy.
Nice work, Rudy.
Team Belgium does itself a big favour by performing well here.
I'm quite happy with this. I think it worked out very well. We had a good time.
Clearly the strongest team players in the competition, the Belgians walk away winners. Australia also proved they can excel at challenges that put team tactics above brute force. South Africa hampered by terrible communication and a 2-minute time penalty come last. Despite their loss, South Africa remain the team to beat. They can permit themselves a few mistakes. The Belgians and Australians, however, cannot. The two teams are caught up in a head-to-head battle for second spot, and with the Photonis Ultimate Forces Challenge on the line, the time for holding back has gone.